Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling in the back of your mind, that sense that you should be doing something more, that your current work just isn't quite hitting the mark? We're tackling that feeling head on today. This deep dive is all about answering one of life's biggest questions. How do you awaken your true calling and, find work that you genuinely love?
And it's a topic that can feel a little soft sometimes, maybe too philosophical.
Yeah.
But the sources we've pulled together for you are anything but.
Right.
We're looking at a really comprehensive, well-researched toolkit. These are the actual strategies and mental frameworks that successful people use to not just define their purpose, but to get past all the roadblocks that pop up.
So our mission is pretty simple. We want to distill all of this into core strategies. By the end of this deep dive, you should walk away with a clear idea of how to define your purpose, find your passion, and build the habits you need for a truly purpose-driven life.
And I think the place we have to start is just with the terminology.
Absolutely.
What even is purpose? And why do so many people get it confused with just setting a goal?
That distinction feels critical.
It's paramount. Purpose gets thrown around like a buzzword, but according to the research, it's a very specific cognitive process. It is what provides personal meaning, and crucially, it acts as a central, self-organizing aim in your life.
So it's like a compass.
Exactly. You can think of it as your ultimate navigational system. It's the compass that dictates your overall direction.
And most people mistake that compass for what? A single destination on the map?
They do. And they are not at all synonymous. Think of goals this way. They are precise. They focus on specific behaviors, things you do right now. And they have what the sources call terminal results.
Like a finish line.
A clear finish line. Once you run the marathon, that goal is done.
But purpose doesn't have a finish line.
No, it's continuous. Purpose is much broader. It's enduring. It's the driving force that stimulates and manages all those individual goals. I mean, if you're only operating with goals, you might get that promotion, you might finish that huge project, but what happens right after?
The crash, the what now feeling.
That's it. You hit an emotional wall because you're struggling to find the next target. Purpose acts as the goal manager that lets you move seamlessly from one achievement to the next so you can maintain motivation for decades.
Okay, so purpose is the why for all the different whats. Now, the sources get pretty technical here and suggest we can actually measure our purpose.
We can, along 3 specific dimensions. And this is where it stops being an abstract idea.
So what are they?
Scope, strength, and awareness. Scope is just how far-reaching it is. Does it only affect your job, or does it influence, your actions, your thoughts, your relationships? A purpose with a broad scope touches everything.
And strength is, I'm guessing, how much of a motivational pull it has.
That's right. It's the power it has to actually influence your actions.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a strong purpose that also has a broad scope, the sources show these pronounced positive effects on things like health, longevity, well-being, and critically, it brings resilience.
Right. When the why is strong enough.
How takes care of itself. Exactly.
That makes total sense. But the third one, awareness, is the most interesting to me.
Awareness is your ability to actually articulate your purpose, to consciously think about it. The sources used a great analogy with gravity.
Oh, I like this part.
On Earth, gravity is broad. It affects everything. But our awareness of it is low. We don't think about it. But if you were suddenly on Jupiter, where gravity is twice as strong, your awareness would be, huge.
It would be the only thing you could think about.
Precisely. And when you achieve high awareness of your purpose, It's like increasing your own personal gravity, your actions, your priorities. They just snap into alignment.
And the behaviors that are consistent with that purpose, they require less effort.
Far less mental friction. You stop agonizing over choices because your purpose acts as an automatic filter.
That clicks. I'm not debating whether to take some evening course if it's outside my gravitational field. The decision is easy.
You save all that energy.
Huh?
And speaking of scope, the source has also noted that having more than one purpose isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Really? I would think that would just fragment your focus.
It can, but it can also be a hedge against discouragement. If one purpose, say a career goal, hits a major obstacle, you can shift your energy to another, like family or community. The caution is you need a manageable number.
Otherwise, you're just switching back and forth, making no real progress.
And hindering progress on all fronts.
Okay, we've got the compass, now we need the engine. Passion. We're always told passion is this, rare thing only for artists or startup founders.
Yeah, and the source material just rejects that idea completely. It presents passion as a gift that everybody has, but it requires the right attitude and a willingness to explore. It's not going to just land in your lap.
So what are the keys to unlocking it? The first one is a mindset shift, right? You have to give yourself opportunities.
You have to believe you deserve to be passionate. You have to align your identity with it. Because if you deep down feel you're unworthy of exciting work, you will subconsciously sabotage any chance you get.
And you have to allow yourself to just explore.
This is where so many people get stuck. They fall for the all or nothing myth. They think if they don't immediately love something, they should quit.
Which is completely counterproductive.
Totally. Life is a spectrum. You just need to move toward what makes you come alive, even if that starts with work that you just kind of like.
That's the self-correction the sources really insist on. You have to grow accustomed to liking work first before you can really love it.
Exactly. And to find that direction, you have to do some real soul searching. Ask those deep questions to your subconscious. What would you do even if you didn't get paid for it? What comes so naturally to you that you don't even see it as a skill?
And once you think you have an answer, you have to test it.
Test its credibility, yes. Before you quit your job and move across the country, take a course, volunteer, start a small side project. Make sure it's not just a fleeting fantasy.
Okay, so once that direction is set, we need the structure to keep moving. And that brings us right back to goals.
It does. Goal setting is the foundation for sustained action. It creates this necessary dynamic gap between where you are now and where you want to be. The sources call this constructive discontent.
That sounds uncomfortable. Most people hear discontent and think misery.
Right, but this is different. If you were perfectly content, why would you ever change? Constructive discontent is a focused motivation. It's not about hating where you are. It's being energized by the possibility of closing that gap. That's what drives you.
And for that to work, there are 3 conditions.
First, commitment. That whatever it takes, attitude. Second, the goals have to be specific. Get rich is a fantasy. Increase revenue by 10% is a goal. And third, you have to actually engage in goal-directed behavior every day.
But when you're dealing with a massive lifelong purpose, those goals can feel overwhelming. How do you stop that from just crushing your motivation?
Use the efficacy tool. Self-efficacy, which is just your belief in your own ability to do something. If a goal is too far away or too complex, your self-efficacy plummets.
So you break it down.
You set short-term, clear, and challenging sub-goals. These small victories raise your self-efficacy bit by bit. They're like little injections of confidence that keep you going for the long haul.
So we have the right direction, the right goals, but that's all useless without the right internal motor. This brings us to the mindset of the proactive designer.
This is a huge behavioral shift. Being proactive means taking responsibility for your life. It means accepting that your behavior is a product of your decisions, which are based on your values, not on external conditions.
Like the weather or your boss's mood.
Exactly. The opposite is reactivity. Reactive people are controlled by their environment, by their impulses. Bad traffic means a bad day. An insult ruins their week.
Whereas proactive people are driven by their internal values, so their response is constant even when the world is chaotic.
Their response is a choice. And the most important concept here is analyzing your focus. Where are your resources going?
And this brings us to that famous idea, the circle of concern versus the sphere of influence. I think this is maybe the most transformative idea in the entire source material.
I agree. It really is. Your circle of concern is everything you worry about but can't directly control. The weaknesses of other people, the political climate, the stock market.
And reactive people spend almost all their energy there.
90% of it. Complaining, worrying, using up all that precious mental energy on things that cannot change, which just creates more negative energy.
It's a feedback loop.
It is. Proactive people, on the other hand, focus exclusively on their sphere of influence, the things they can control, their skills, their habits, their network, how they respond to a bad situation.
And the sources show that when you do that, when you focus only on what you can change, it creates this positive energy.
It does. And it actually causes your sphere of influence to grow. By choosing to improve your skills instead of complaining about the market, you actually change your own circumstances. You empower yourself.
Once you've got that proactive mindset, the next step is designing the future, which is begin with the end in mind.
Right. You have to live with a clear image of your end state, your legacy, the person you want to have been, as the ultimate reference point for every single thing you do today.
This is what prevents the hollow victory.
Which is just devastating. It's when people achieve all the metrics of success, the money, the titles, only to realize it came at the expense of things they actually valued more. Their health, their family. Without that long-term vision, ambition can blind you.
And if you don't do this work, you're essentially letting someone else write your life script.
Absolutely. If you don't design it, you empower others, your family, your company, society, to script your life for you by default. The solution is what the sources call rescripting. You identify those ineffective patterns and you replace them with new ones that align with your deepest values.
And the practical tool for that is the personal mission statement.
It's the single most effective tool. It has to focus on three things. What you want to be, your character. What you want to do, your contributions. And your core values that everything rests on. It becomes the lens for every decision.
Okay, we've defined purpose, found passion, embraced proactivity, and designed the script. That's the prep work. Now, the final stage, mastery and maintenance. How do we sustain this?
It starts with personal management. This is the continuous planning, organizing, and coordinating of your life to achieve that purpose. And it requires a strong, independent will.
The sources gave 4 rules for this. Let's break them down.
Certainly. First, you map your life, know who you are and where you're going. That informs the second rule. Review your assumptions. Be honest about your strengths and weaknesses. Third is organize yourself and your potential. That's the tactical part.
And the fourth, which is the hardest, is to develop your abilities, imagination, introspection, and especially willpower. We tend to think you're either born with willpower or you're not.
But it's a muscle. Will is measured by your personal integrity, your ability to make and keep commitments to yourself. And you boost it, not by tackling huge resolutions, but by achieving small, consistent ones first. You build that self-trust.
Another tool mentioned for this is mentorship.
Mentoring and coaching are accelerants. They boost your confidence, your self-awareness, your problem-solving skills. But for it to work, you need a clear learning agreement, purposeful conversations, and a foundation of trust.
So, of course, the path will have setbacks. Even the most proactive person hits a crisis. We have to talk about building resilience.
Resilience is that ability to move through challenges while maintaining hope and positive coping methods. And resilient people have two core qualities: optimism, a deep belief that things will get better, and control, meaning they believe they can change their circumstances through their own response.
And how do we actively build that?
Through action. The sources talk about using positive affirmations, that words can shape your focus and become reality. You increase your determination. You improve your communication skills so you know how to ask for help. And you practice open-minded decision-making instead of just freezing up.
Finally, we get to the ultimate investment: living a balanced life. You are the instrument of your own performance. You have to keep it sharp.
This is non-negotiable. You have to invest in yourself across 4 dimensions. First, the physical. Exercise, minimum 30 minutes a day, plus good rest. If your body isn't working, your mind won't either.
Then the spiritual dimension, the core of your commitment to your value system, the thing that informs your mission statement. Practice through meditation, contemplation, just being in nature.
Third is the mental dimension, which is continuing education. You have to be intentional about it after you leave school. Set a goal to read good, challenging literature. 1 book a month, maybe. Force your mind to think.
And finally, the social dimension. Your interpersonal relationships, creative cooperation. This is renewed daily through meaningful interaction with others, making sure your support network is strong.
So, to summarize this entire journey for you, start by defining your purpose as that enduring compass. Use passion as the fuel. Focus your energy only on your sphere of influence. Design your future with a mission statement, and then sustain it all with management and resilience.
And that quality time to recalibrate is non-negotiable. Trying to chase goals that are just fundamentally misaligned with your values. It's a recipe for disappointment.
Remember this final thought from the source material. The true joy in life comes from being used for a purpose that you are totally aware of. Sometimes that light you need is right inside of you, just waiting. Aim to be completely used up by the time your time is out. That is a life well lived.
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, 1 vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.